Hello and welcome to the Stamperia Coffee and Chocolate mini album tutorial series designed for Scrap and Create. If you are just joining the series, all of these products that I'm using here are linked in the description box below to the Scrap and Create website, where you can just click on those products to follow along. In today's tutorial, we're going to start decorating page 4. So the first thing that I have done is open up my flap and placed a magnet. And this magnet is about 5/8 of an inch from the top edge to the center of my magnet. Then I place my second magnet, close my flap to place the second magnet on the flap on the bottom. Now I have my inch-long piece of my inch-wide piece of my burlap, I should say. And I'm going to place this here, right on the edge, placing the ends of my burlap into my adhesive, closing my flap, and then applying my adhesive to my front, folding over and tucking the ends into the adhesive to make that little pull tab. This piece is cut from the 8x8 paper, so I've just got my 6 coffee cups, and they actually are cut down to about 5 3/4 by 3 3/4. I just went around and cut them exactly on the page where they were. Now from my 12x12 coffee bean paper, I cut a strip to just slightly less than 1 inch, and it is 6 1/4 inches. I've used my corner rounder on 2 of the corners, and then I cut this so that this piece is 1/2 inch. This piece is just less than 1/2 inch. Now I'm going to place this piece here at the bottom. I'm going to place this in the center with a very small gap between the two. And then I've got this piece that's going to go up here with a small gap between the papers and then a border at the top. Now, if your piece here and there's not enough for a small gap, you can go ahead and trim a little bit off of this piece so that you do have that nice border. Then I have 2 pieces that measure 1/4 of an inch by 3 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to place one here and one here. So I'm going to place this piece and this piece while this piece is in the center. Then I'll place these two. Then I'm going to adhere down my coffee cups. From this 12x12 paper, I did cut from this side one piece to 6 1/4 by 5 3/4. Then I cut the top 2 corners with my corner rounder and inked my edges. I'm going to place this here on the front of this flap. Then this is from the 12x12 paper. This is all I have left of it. This one, I have 2 pieces. They measure 1 3/8 by 7 1/4. On this one, I did use my envelope punch board and notched the right side for over here. And then this piece is just straight, and I'm going to place these right up against these 2 flaps. From this 12x12 paper, I've cut from the top left corner a piece that measures 8 1/2 by 7 1/4. Then I've cut this into 2 pieces that measure 4 1/4 by 7 1/4. This first one is going to go here on the left side of this flap. This one is going to go here on the right side of the bottom flap. Then from my 12x12 coffee bean paper, I cut one piece to 1 inch by 7 1/4 inches. I rounded all 4 corners and then cut this in half to 2 1/2-inch strips. Now this one is going to go here on the side of this flap. And then this one is going to go here on the side of this flap. From this 12x12 paper, I went ahead and cut one piece to 9 1/2 by 7 1/4. Then I cut this into 2 pieces that measure 4 3/4 by 7 1/4. I used my corner rounder on the left 2 corners on this piece and inked my edges for this flap here. And then I used my corner rounder on the two right-hand corners on this one, inked those edges, and then this piece is going to go on this flap here. Then from my 8x8 paper, I have cut this to 6 1/4 by 7 1/4 and inked my edges for the center page. From the 8x8 paper, I've cut this to 6 1/4, and then I have two pieces that measure 4 inches. So the one top part is going to go on the bottom of the top flap. The bottom part is going to go on the top of the bottom flap. Then from my 12x12 coffee bean paper, I've cut two pieces. These measure 6 1/4 by 3/4 of an inch. And I use my corner rounder on two of the corners. So these ones are going to go here on the bottom edge, and then this one is going to go here on the top edge. Once all of those flaps are on, you can go ahead and close up all of them, and this page is finished for now. So we're going to go ahead and flip over to the back side and finish up. The first thing I did for the back of my page was place my magnet. So this is 3/4 of an inch in from the edge. Then I placed my coordinating magnet on here and then closed my flap to place it here. I have my little burlap piece for my pull tab. So I'm going to go ahead and put my adhesive on here next to my magnet and place those ends right in that adhesive. Then I'll go ahead and close my flap and apply my adhesive to the front. And fold this over so those ends catch in the adhesive. From this 12x12 paper, I cut down this piece to include just these three pieces. So this is 3 3/4 by about 5 3/4. This is going to go here on the center of my flap. Then from my 12x12 coffee bean paper, I have one piece that measures 1/2 inch by 6 1/4 inches. I used my corner rounder on the two left corners and inked my edges. So this piece is going to go here. Then this piece is 3/8 of an inch by 6 1/4 inches, and I'm going to place this piece here. Now for the top and the bottom, I have two pieces that measure 1/4 of an inch by 3 3/4 of an inch, and I will place these strips here like this. Next, I've got a piece of this paper from the 12x12. I've cut this to 1 1/4 by 7 1/4, and I use my envelope punch board here on the left side. Now this is going to go here right up against the edge of this flap. And then for this larger flap from the 8x8 paper, I first cut off the wooden border around the page. So then this actually ends up being 7 1/4 inches. Then I trimmed this. There was another piece of this here, so I just cut this right down between the two pieces in that wooden frame section, so I'll use this for later. And this, I guess if you want a measurement, is 5 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to place this right here. And then from my 12x12 paper, this was here. I cut this piece to 7/8 of an inch by 7 1/4 inches. Use my corner rounder on the two right-hand corners, and I'm going to place this piece here with a small gap between the two pieces. I have another piece from this paper that measures 1 1/4 by 7 1/4. I'm going to open this up and place this piece here on this smaller flap. I'm going to start with this leftover piece that I have from the 8x8 paper. I did round the top two, or the left two corners. This is 1 1/2 inches by 7 1/4 inches. This I'm going to place here on the left side of this flap. Then I have this piece from the 12 by 12 paper that I have cut to 5 1/4 by 7 1/4. And I'm going to place this one here on the right side of the flap with a small gap between those two pieces. Now this is the last piece I have of my 12 by 12 chocolate bar paper. So I just trimmed the border piece off of this. This is 6 3/8 of an inch, and then I cut this in half. So I believe this is 1 3/8 of an inch. It is. So I've got two pieces, 1 3/8 by 6 5/8, and I am going to place one at the top and one at the bottom. Then from this 12 by 12 paper, I have cut this top portion to 6 5/8, and this is all that was left of the paper, so it is 4 3/4. And I'm going to place this right here in the center. Then I'm going to glue these ends down to form a tuck spot or a side loading pocket here. Now I have this piece. It measures 4 3/4 by 5 3/4. It is also from the 12 by 12 paper. I have rounded just the top corner on this piece and inked my edges. It's going to go here. And then I have this strip from the Collectables page, and I just cut this piece. It measures about 3/4 of an inch, and it's 4 3/4 inches long. And then I used the corner rounder on the bottom right corner. So I'm going to line this up here at the bottom of my page. Now everything is covered. I will come back later and add a photo mat to this pocket. So I'm going to go ahead and close up those flaps. And now page 4 is finished for now. Now remember, in another video, we will go ahead and start decorating and embellishing all of these pages together. That'll actually be the next video, so stay tuned for that. And if you are new to the tutorial series and just joining, check out the description box below for all of the links to the Stamperia Coffee and Chocolate papers. You can click on those links. It'll take you to the Scrap and Create website where you can purchase all of those products so you can follow along. I'll see you in the next tutorial.